Wanted Adventure, hosted by Donna Newman.
Let's rewind time all the way back to the very first summer that I lived here in Munich. I was working as an English teacher, and I had been working as an English teacher for a few months at that point. So one morning, as I packed my worksheets and textbooks and all my English class preparation stuff into my backpack and headed out the door, I was not really expecting anything particularly exciting or remarkable to happen that day. I was expecting it to be a pretty similar day to the other days that I had recently also headed out the door to go into town to teach English. I walked 20 minutes to the U-Bahn station, which is how I usually got into the city center for teaching English. And yeah, like I said, it felt at this point like a pretty normal day. I liked to listen to music as I walked, so I put my earbuds in and I walked to the U-Bahn station. I got to the U-Bahn station and I made my way down the escalator to the underground platform. And like I said, at this point, everything was still pretty much going as I was expecting it to go. Until I got down to the U-Bahn station platform and I walked to the area that I was planning on standing to wait for the U-Bahn to come. And I passed by someone, and as I passed by that person, my brain registered, out of the corner of my eye, I registered that person, and something in my brain was like, bing, I think you recognize that person. I turned around to get a better look at them, pretty much, I think, expecting at this point that it was just my brain playing tricks on me, I hadn't been living in Munich very long. I didn't know that many people in the city. I didn't know that many people in Germany. So I really was not expecting to bump into somebody who I knew. But then I focused my attention on the person, and instead of finding out that my brain was playing tricks on me, no, it was like, ding, 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 ding. Yes, you recognize that person. My world started going so slowly because it was just so surreal that I would possibly be seeing this person. So who was this person? Yeah, I took my earbuds out of my ears and I was like, I looked at the person and I said their name with, a question mark at the end. Like, is that really you? And then they looked at me and they also then were like, Donna? I'm like, yeah. And then I said something like, I think we went to middle school together, right? And she was like, yeah, I think so. And it was just so surreal. Like, I couldn't believe it. It was like my two worlds were colliding together, I had my life here in Munich, and then I had middle school back in Florida, and somehow all of a sudden they were coming together. Here I was in the underground station in Munich on my way to go teach English, and now I was chatting with someone who I'd gone to middle school with. Like, so what are you doing here in Munich? Oh, I explained to her that I lived here, and she told me that she was here for the summer, and then the U-Bahn pulled up, and we got on together, and we were having a nice normal little chat. But all the while inside of my head, it was like, what is going on? How are you here in Munich having a chat with this person from Florida who you went to middle school with? It felt like any moment I was gonna be like, wake up, Donna, wake up, oh, look at that. It was a dream. And I would tell Stefan, Stefan, you will not believe the dream that I just had. But it was not a dream. It was actually really happening. And it wasn't like we were in downtown city center Munich either. We were in an U-Bahn station, a little bit, not like in the outskirts, but it wasn't downtown city center Munich. It was a little outside, and it just felt so surreal. The U-Bahn pulled up to the stop I had to get off at, and we exchanged phone numbers, and we got together a few times over that summer while she was here in Munich, and that was really cool getting to connect with her. I don't know how many times I've said the word surreal in this video already, but it was so surreal. Then later that afternoon when I called Stefan and I had to tell him what happened, and I was like, Stefan, you won't believe it, but I bumped into somebody that I went to middle school with at the U-Bahn station this morning. And he was like, you're kidding, right? No, it really happened. While I was telling him, it felt like I was convincing myself of the fact that it had really happened almost as much as I was trying to convince him of it. I guess sometimes the world is just kind of small and random like that. That's actually not the only time that something like that has happened in my life. I've had a couple times where something like that has happened, but for this video here, I decided to share the time when it happened in Munich because it happened in Munich. So my question for you is, has there been a time where you have ever bumped into someone who you totally weren't expecting to bump into in the particular place where you bumped into that person? Please let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in tomorrow's video where I'm talking about something I think I just figured out about living in Germany. Until next time, until tomorrow, auf Wiedersehen.
Want to watch another video? Here are two. And a really, really, really big thank you so much to our patrons on Patreon who help make these videos possible. Thank you so much for your support. Bis morgen!